Hello, hello, hello. It's Saturday. Thank you for watching. We are out running errands today, and I have my favorite shirt on, living my best life, because that's how I pretty much go by. That's my favorite shirt. It's written on my notebook. That's my favorite saying, because I want to live my best life and be the best version of myself. Not by somebody else's standards, not how other people tell me. You know, people can have expectations for us and tell us, you know, what they want for us, but I want my own. Like, I want to live my best life, not what somebody else's definition or version or what they think success is. I have my own goals, dreams, aspirations, things that I want to accomplish. I said I was going to do a video on the moments of I can't, when you're already dealing with things and then something happens and you're like, okay, well, I can't deal with this. And I had one of those moments yesterday. I brought the shirt thing up because I want you to think about that you know, you don't have to live up to somebody else's expectations. Create your own definition of success. Create your own goals and your own things that you want to accomplish, and work toward that. You know, if you try to live up to other people's expectations, and you're always going to feel inadequate, and you're always going to feel like you're not enough, because you're not even defining your own goals and, you know, things that you want to do. You know, you're not even defining your own success. Something fell. I just don't know what it was. But, so, you know, like I said, I was going to do a video on those moments of I can't, and I had one yesterday, and I literally thought, I can't deal with this right now. I don't know if I handled it the right way, but I will tell you what happened. I received a message from somebody. I'm not going to mention any names, because that doesn't serve a purpose, and can still get the gist of the situation without knowing exactly who it is. So she's chewing on her toy. Hi. So I had a text message from somebody on Facebook, and they said that they needed to call me because they had something very important to tell me. Because I am a mom, and it was about somebody that I'm friends with. Okay, you have my attention. I'm a mom. I want to know what's going on. So this woman proceeds to tell me that this person that I'm friends with, I wouldn't want to. Let me tell you just exactly what she said. She said, Jen, I'm letting you know about this because you probably wouldn't want to associate with her because you have kids. And she proceeds to tell me that she used to be on drugs. And then she says, well, she started the conversation out by saying that she loves my YouTube channel. Okay, thank you. And then she said that she wanted to tell me about this person that was that I'm friends with, that I wouldn't want to associate with her because she used to do drugs, and she said not just the drugs like you did, Jen, not just pills, but like heroin and I think even meth, she said. And then she said, and she's even been to prison, and when she was using drugs, she was a terrible person. And she said that she was just a terrible person. So first I said, you love my YouTube channel, huh? And she said, yes, absolutely, I watch it all the time. Oh, okay. And then I said, well, what part of what you just told me makes my friend a terrible person? Is it the drugs or the prison number that she has? And she said, well, I just thought you should know that. And I said, well, first of all, I owe you an apology. And she said, excuse me? And I said, I owe you an apology if I have portrayed myself to be the type of person that you can feel comfortable enough to call me and tell me about my friends. If I have portrayed myself in the manner that you can call and talk to me about my friends, then I have portrayed myself to you in the wrong light. And for that, I apologize. I said, secondly, you've not watched my YouTube videos. Mommy will find it. Hold on. You've not watched my YouTube videos because if you have, you would have known that I bypassed pain medication, pain pills, when I was 17 years old. And started doing harder drugs. I said, you still have not told me what part of that makes her a terrible person. I said, and then you're going to have to put me into that category as well, because my prison number is 86128, and everybody that has watched my channel or knows me knows my battle with addiction and drugs, heroin, fentanyl, meth, things like that. I said, so you're going to have to put me into that same category. When I was talking to her, I was not smiling like I am now, I assure you. I was not smiling like I am now. And as a matter of fact, I was going to respond to this, I was going to handle this yesterday with a video, but every time that I attempted to make a video about this situation, I found myself getting so worked up and so angry that I was saying things in a non-productive way, really mean, and that doesn't help. So I waited until today. And then I said I wanted to know one more thing. At this point, she was not talking, and I said, are you still there? And she said, yes, I'm here. And I said, I have one more question for you. What video did you watch, or what time have you seen me to where I gave the impression that I believe I'm bigger than God? And she said, I have no idea what you mean. And I said, well, you go to church. I know you go to church. The girl is clean now. And she said, yes, she is clean now. She even goes to church somewhere else. And I said, so you go to church, you know the Bible, you know what it says, and yet you still believe that people can be more powerful than God. And she said, I'm still so confused about what you're talking about. And I said, I'm sorry I'm a little off right now, but I'm trying to park and it's not happening very well. She said, I don't know what you mean. And I said, well, it boils down to this. When somebody has asked God to forgive them of what they've done, or they have asked God to heal them of a hurt, or they've been through something to where they need God to intervene for them, and they ask God to heal them of that hurt, whether it's a divorce, or they've been abused, or they've been on drugs, and they ask God to, to remove that desire, and they get themselves clean, and they trying to live for God, and they ask God to forgive them. And because when you get off of drugs, you need more than just the physical side of it. There's a lot of emotional, spiritual, and mental damage that is done when you've prolonged active use of drugs. That's scientifically proven by brain scans that they've done, that it does change the chemical makeup of your brain. So I said, when a person has asked God to forgive them of this situation, whatever it is, fill in the blank, and you bring that person's past up, or you remind that person of the hurt or the situation or whatever it is, you are saying that you are bigger than God and that you are going beyond the grace of God and beyond the blood of Christ to pull up that person's sin and to pull up that person's mistake and that person's heart. And you are remembering something that God said He forgets. Because the Bible says that it is thrown, that when we ask God to come into our heart and we ask Him to forgive us, that our sins are covered by the blood of Christ, and that those things are thrown into the sea of forgetfulness, meaning as far as the east is from the west, and God does not remember. So how would it be that somebody, anybody, could go beyond the blood of Christ and remember something that God forgets? Hi. Hi. My pretty, with your big pretty bow. Hi. So I was very irate with this woman, very pretty, very pretty, very aggravated, very stressed out. Hi. Yeah. And yes. You ready to go in? Okay. Hold on a second. So she then said, I'm sorry, I've offended you. And I said, you haven't offended me. I'm aggravated. You've not offended me because you're not saying that you're better than I am. But if I was God, I would be offended. Because you are saying that you are bigger than Him. And that you are better than Him. And that you have the right to bring up something that God doesn't even remember. You're saying that you have a right to do something that God doesn't want done. And I just don't get it. So that was my moment yesterday of I can't. That was my moment yesterday of I'm already dealing with 3 small children, and I was having a conversation with my oldest son at the time about something else, and trying to get the house clean, and it felt like everything that I was doing, they were undoing. And all of that stuff. Hold on a minute. And then I felt like that was happening right then. And I was like, I can't deal with this right now. Why is this happening? Why is she feeling that she's bigger or better or whatever than God? I don't know if I handled it right. I don't know. But in those moments, what I learned from that situation yesterday was in those moments, if I react instead of responding, then I'm just I'm putting fuel to the fire. If I had not stood my ground and was ashamed of who I was, because other people have done that to me. Other people have shared my story and my trauma and my sadness. And I'm not talking about when people say, you should hear her story, or talk about something that I've talked about on one of my videos or whatever. I'm very open and very candid about the things I've done and the things I've been through. But when you are sharing a chapter, I already knew what the girl had been through because I had talked to her myself. We are friends. But when you are opening someone's chapter in their book, one, you need to make really sure that you don't have any books that you want kept closed. Because you may not have done the same thing that somebody else has done, but we all have those moments to where we would have reacted differently if given the chance to redo something. We all have those moments. Not everybody has been on drugs. Not everybody's had eating issues. Not everybody's had gambling problems. Not everybody's gone through divorce. Not everybody's dealt with children custody issues. Not everybody's not been able to put down the drink. Not everybody's dealt with those. But we all have situations to where we've had hurt and disappointment. And we've all had situations to where we don't want a spotlight on this particular moment at this particular time. I was recently asked my opinion. Come on, you can get out. I unsnapped it. Come on, you can sit up here with mommy. I was recently asked to give my opinion about a fellow YouTube blogger and their situation. And I'm not going to go into the details, but people are talking about this family that they had adopted a child and didn't understand the gravity, even though they were told about the little boy's conditions. He's autistic, he's nonverbal. A lot of the videos kind of actually reminded me of my son, my 3-year-old. Y'all know that, my thing with that. So, even though she was told what the little boy's issues were, she underestimated what it was going to be like. After a few years, she, not my words, her words, she rehomed the little boy. And I was asked to give my opinion about this because when you have a YouTube channel in a certain niche, like a certain niche or however you're supposed to say it, mine's like motivation and family blogging or whatever. So they're not going to ask me if a person that has a gaming channel does something. So, but this is a family blog type thing. So people have asked me, what I think about it. And of course I have an opinion. Like, opinions are like belly buttons. Everybody has one. Some people's just stick out further than others. Don't push that. But I'm not going to do what everybody else is doing. I'm not going to get up on a soapbox and get up on a pedestal and talk about, I have never, because I have my own chapters in my own books, and I don't live in these people's home. And I'm not making a statement about how I feel, if it's right or wrong. I don't live in these people's houses. And I feel that it's really, really easy to do bandwagon stuff. And I don't like bandwagon stuff. I don't like it when people, someone does something and then all of a sudden everybody has an opinion about it. I don't know these people. I think people are upset too that they made money off of the videos with the little boy, and then they raised money to help with the adoption, and people feel that they should give the money to whoever has the little boy. That I think I would agree with, but I don't know these people and I don't live in their house and I don't know what it's like for her. I know what it's like for me to have a child with extra needs, and I know what it's like to have a bunch of little kids, and I know what it's like to have messed up with my older kids, and I know what it's like to try to repair the damage of the things I've done. That I know what it's like. But I don't know what her situation and her things are like. So for me to comment on a chapter in her life openly and make a video about it, is if I'm somebody that can say that she's a terrible person, I'm not going to do that. Did you drop it? I'm not going to do that. Do you like her bow? I did it. It's a little crazy crooked, but I made it out of, she was trying to wear it around herself as a belt, and I thought, it was ribbon from my craft stuff from my planners, and I thought it would be much cuter as a bow, so right before we, no, take it out! Don't take it out! Don't take it out! Don't take it out, it's pretty. So, I wanted to talk about what happened yesterday, and I wanted to talk about that because I was asked. So my official response is that I have no response, and I'm going to pray for the whole situation, the whole family, the little boy, and eventually it'll pass for them, I think. You know, I'm not going to, oh, and I wanted to say also that if I have portrayed myself to people that you can call me up and talk to me badly, that I'm going to gossip about about my friends, and not in a concern. We all call people out of concern for our friends, you know, and say, hey, have you talked to such and such? They're not doing so good. That's the life in the real world of recovery, where we will call each other and say, I seen such and such and they didn't look so good. Do you know if they're okay? That's one thing. But I promise you that I'm not going to get up on a pedestal and get on a bandwagon and talk about somebody in a way that I have never made a mistake. Your mistakes may look different and your sins may look different. But we all have mistakes and we all have sin. All of us have fallen. And it's what we do with those mistakes, and when we fall, we have a chance to get back up and try again. And I appreciate your guys' support so much. Don't push that. We all have situations that we've gone through. Don't push that. And I'm so thankful for your guys' support. So thankful. It truly means a lot to me. It really does. I'm going to make that other video that I talked about soon. I don't know what order, but a day in the life of a real mom. Because, you know, I watch these videos of these unicorn moms, and the kids wake up in these, like, perfect little pajamas. And my kids have pajamas and stuff too, but it just seems like everybody wakes up and they somehow eat pancakes and they don't get syrup in their hair. And they don't, and their house is never a mess, and, you know, they're making all these wonderful, healthy breakfasts all the time, and we eat healthy too, but sometimes we eat Pop-Tarts, and sometimes we eat peanut butter sandwiches for breakfast, and sometimes we, and sometimes we don't get up early, and we don't do these things that it just seems like these unicorn moms, and they make me feel sometimes like I'm inadequate, you know. And then I realized that if I could push pause on my life every time there's a meltdown, or I could push pause on the bad moments of my life, and people only seen, and I could only record or only show the good things in my life, then I would look like my life was always together also. But I assure you it's not. Sometimes I am on top of the world, I feel like. The house is clean, the kids are, you know, together, and they're not taking their clothes off, and, you know, they're playing nice, and they're not fighting, and all this. And then other times I'm looking for my coffee while I'm holding it. And, you know, here's something else. When kids act up in the store, you know, if kids are well behaved in the store, that has nothing to do with the parents. When we went to the store last time, when we had our girls' day out, 3/4 of the time we were in the store, she was great. Great. The last 20 minutes of the time we were in there, she was over it. I did not change how I did things at the store. I did not become a bad parent the moment that she had a meltdown. Parents take credit for kids that are well behaved, and then they get the blame for when kids have meltdowns. And the truth is, it's the child, whether or not they're going to be okay or over it for that moment. I hope that you guys have a great weekend. I'm going to try to make a Father's Day video sometime this weekend. Bless you! Bless you! If I don't, happy Father's Day to all of the dads out there. Happy Father's Day to all of them. Happy Father's Day to my dad. Happy Father's Day to all of the dads out there. The dads that show up. The bonus dads. I don't like stepdad. I don't like that word. But to all of the bonus dads and the fathers and everybody that, you know, steps up to the plate and shows it and shows up. Happy Father's Day. And I hope that you guys all have a great weekend. As always, if there's a certain video or topic that you would like me to do or talk about or go on and rant about or whatever, whatever this video was. Comment below and let me know. Let me know. If you have not subscribed to my channel, it's A Motivated Mind with Jen Cole. Please go over there and subscribe. I'm going to be putting some videos back up on my channel. There's been an issue with loading videos to the channel from my phone for some reason, so that's why I'm putting this on here. But I hope you guys have a great weekend. Bye-bye. I'm Jen Cole, and I approve this message.